Hi everyone! Welcome back to the Florida Fishing Academy's virtual classroom. My name's Shannon. Today we are going to be learning about food chains. All animals are unique, but we have one thing in common. We all need food. We need food in order to survive, move, and grow. This is true of all living things, including plants. Plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. In the wild, animals eat plants or animals in order to gain energy. Energy is what allows us to move and thrive. A food chain shows how living things get their energy and how that moves from one living organism to another. All life stems from the sun. The sun then gives energy to plants, which provide their own food. We call these producers. Producers are then consumed by small animals, which we call primary consumers. Primary consumers are then eaten by larger animals, which we call secondary consumers. And then secondary consumers are eaten by tertiary consumers. This is how a food chain works. Since animals don't always eat the same food every day, we can make a food web. For example, an owl might eat a mouse or a grasshopper. This shows that animals can interact with multiple different prey in one food chain. When food chains start to get crossed, we call them food webs. A food web is a big tangled system that includes every plant and animal in one habitat or environment. But this doesn't change the fact that all food chains and webs begin with the sun. If a food chain is disrupted, it will cause issues in the local environment. Even the loss of one animal or plant can cause a change in the ecosystem. Decomposers like fungi and insects break down waste. This may include poop, uneaten fruit, or animal carcass. As they break down these things, they release nutrients and minerals back into the soil, which then creates the full circle in the circle of life.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures from the crawling ants to the leaping antelope.
But Dad, don't we eat the antelope?
Yes, Simba, but let me explain. When we die, our bodies become grass. Then the antelope eat the grass, and so we are all connected in the great circle of life.
As you saw in our acting out of a famous scene from The Lion King, the circle of life is a way that all animals are interconnected. When animals die, whether they're at the top of the food chain or in the middle of the food chain, they decompose and become part of the soil. Sometimes our soil is made up of poop of animals, or scat. Sometimes this poop comes from cows, what we call manure, or from worms, which we call castings. These are all great things for gardens and for plants to feed on and survive. This connects everything in what we call the circle of life. I want you to explore how decomposing works in our environment and how things break down and become part of the soil. Take your next banana peel or veggie or fruit that you have left over and throw it in a bucket or throw it in your garden and see what happens. See what different animals come. Maybe you'll find some worms or some flies. Share with us what you see.